So, hello everyone, my name is Puru Pathak and welcome to your programming tutorial. Uh, Today I'll be explaining a very famous programming interview question, which is finding if the two strings given are anagrams or not. So what basically do anagrams mean? So if I have two strings which I take from the user, and if both of them are equal in terms of the frequency of the characters and the length of the length of the string, then we can say they're anagrams. For instance, if I have two strings like A, B, C, this is my string one, and this could be maybe B, C, A, then we could say these are anagrams. Also, if I have A, B, C, D, and this is B, A, C, F, then these ain't anagrams. Then maybe we could have something like A, B, C, D, D, and maybe A, B, C, D. Now we can see that this is a substring of string 1. That doesn't mean that it's an anagram, because the frequency of D here is 2, while here it is 1. So we can't say these two are anagrams. So the length has to be equal as well, which of course goes in parallel with the frequency check of characters. So this I'll be coding basically using CPP. Now this is my Sublime text editor on which I'll be coding, and then consequently I'll be running the CPP code using a Mac terminal. So let's start. So let's start by initializing the stuff first. These are the library initializations. I will need string.h. I'll be using certain functions which are inbuilt in C++. The method which I will be implementing won't be the most efficient one. Let me warn you on that. But consequently, I would also be making tutorials on how you can enhance the efficiency in terms of the running time and the space taken by the program. So yeah, that's also on the agenda. Just some basic initializations first. Okay, let's just start. I'll start by initializing two strings. Let's say str1 and str2. Let's take the input from the user, enter for string, and I'm a bit lazy on this. There we go. Enter second string. Just forgot to accept the input. There we go. And there we go. So I've taken the two strings now. I would suggest you guys to build and debug this code in increments. It's always way more simpler when you design any sort of program, when you just write some piece of code, for instance in this case just the input, and just test it if it's going right, and then proceed if everything is good. So yeah, I would be doing that since it will waste a lot of time, but that's the programming practice which I follow, and it's generally advisable to do that. So as I said, first we need to check if the two strings are equal in length. Let's do that first. If str1 dot length, now this is inbuilt function again in C++. I would also recommend some of the users who are new to C++ to just go through the basics of C++. I believe it's a very powerful language. It's one of my favorite as well. So here we go. If they are not equal in length, we can straight away say that they are not anagrams. Strings entered are not anagrams. Here we go. And you could straightway break from the code. Oops. Yeah, you can straightway break from the code because no more processing needs to be done then. So this is the first point check which we have. Moving on, now we could, as I said, just taking you here, what my approach would be here is if I've been given two strings like let's say X, Y, Z, and maybe Y, Z, X. Now the first check will be correct because these two strings, as we can see, are equal in length. So if we consider the length of the first string, that would be 3 in this case, and the length of second string is also 3. So they are correct in length, so they pass the first condition. But that's not sufficient. What we need to check if the characters are exactly equal and if the frequency of each character entered in the two strings is equal. So what trick I'm going to use here is I'm going to use the sort function. We are going to sort the two strings and then move on. So if I sort, for instance, if I strong str1 here in this case, which is the first string, you'll get XYZ. And if you sort the second string, you will also get XYZ. So these two strings, now we can see after we sort them, are exactly equal. Well, that's my trick. If these two strings after sorting are exactly equal, then they are anagrams. If not, they are not. So even if this problem looks a bit tricky at times while programming, or maybe just before you start programming, initially you'll have to develop a logic or an algorithm for this. Even if it looks tricky, it's not that tricky if you come up with a smart solution. So just try to sort them. If it produces the same result after sorting, they're anagrams. So let's do that here now. This, as I said, was my first check. First check. And now we'll move on to the second check. So let's begin by sorting these two strings now. Now C++ has a standard library known as the algorithm library, which has the sorting function inbuilt. So this is the library. It's known as algorithm, and it has a standard sort function. So that is std sort. And if you use this, things get a lot simpler. The complexity for this could be n log n, which is not bad. Goes in parallel with the complexities of sorting algorithms like quick and merge, and it's definitely better than n square. So I would recommend you guys to use this. So let's use it right now. As I said, we need to include the algorithm library. So let's just do that first. It's algorithm. There we go. And let's sort it now. So sort can directly be called now since we are including the algorithm library. str1 dot begin. I'll just explain you guys in a bit what this means. str1 maybe dot n. Yes, that could be the range here. Yeah, sorry. Here we go. So this begin and range are the two parameters which are needed by the sort function, inbuilt sort function in CPP. So what this basically does is gives you a range for sorting this array, which you're, or in this case a string which you're giving. So it will sort from starting and it will do it till the end. Let's do the same thing for str2 as well. There we go. So I've sorted both the strings now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare these two strings, and I'm going to return an integer in terms of 0 or 1. So precisely, if you simplify this approach, it's just going to be a boolean variable that's going to be returned. But in this case, since a lot of beginners might be watching this, I'm going to do it in terms of an integer. So let's say ret return could be that integer. I'm going to initialize it here itself, and let's compare these two strings. So strcmp, it's the function taken from the library string.h, which we have initially declared. So let's do this. str1 comma str2. That's it. Now this is a funny part in C++. I'm still wondering why they haven't yet rectified it, or maybe got a smarter approach for it. When you take strings in strings like the ones which we have declared in CPP, you need to convert them back into C language oriented strings so that you can work with the library functions provided by the language. So in this case, str1 and str2, which we have taken here, as you can see, these are taken in CPP. But if you want to work with functions which are in line with the strings given, you have to convert them into C strings. So for that, there is a function, it's known as c_str. Now what this basically does, sorry for that, yeah. So what it basically does, it converts the CPP strings into C strings, and then you can comfortably work with the string.h library. So that's the stuff what I'm going to do here now. I'm going to convert these two into C oriented strings. Here we go. Dot c_str. Here we go. Sorry about that. Here we go. Yeah. Now it looks good. So now this return will hold the value 1 or 0 depending on the return value of strcmp. As we said, if it returns 0, that is if the two strings are completely equal, it implies that the two strings given are anagrams. So you can say strings given are anagrams. So, yes, and if not, I'm just going to copy this as I'm a bit lazy in these things. Strings given are not anagrams. Here we go. And let me end with a return 0 since I'm using int main. So this looks good basically. This is my second check which I'm going to use, as I said. And yeah, and this is the third check which we are going to use in this program. Looks good. So let's see if this program works. It's a programmer's rarity lies in getting it up and running for the first time itself. Let's do that. Let me just check what's its name. It's anagram.cpp. Okay, here we go. So gpeep, g++, anagram.cpp, and yeah, bingo, it runs. It's successfully compiled. Now let's go and run this. e.out. There we go. Let's enter the first string as ABC. Second string could be BCA, and bam, they're anagrams. You can see this, they're anagrams. So let's check it on another input. I'll take ABCD now, and ABC. I can see ABC is a subset of ABCD. So is this an anagram? Nope, they are not anagrams. So it goes through another check. That's right. Now let's try to run another condition, which is, maybe you could say ABCCC, yeah, and maybe ABCCD. Now, as you can see, the lengths are equal, so you might be wondering, oh no, these two might be anagrams, but again, bam, they are not anagrams. You can see here. So as we can see, it clearly satisfies. I'll again check it on the length condition. So let's say ABCD and AA. Nope, they're not anagrams. The first check again fails here. The length is not equal. So guys, as you can see, it's, even if it seems difficult, it's not so difficult. As you can see, I gave you a rough explanation of the flow of the program as well, and there could be a more efficient solution to this, maybe using a hash map or something. And in the following days, I'm going to do that as well for you guys. So if you want a copy of this code, please leave your email in the comment section. And if you have to give me any suggestions, or if you want me to do a certain video, please leave your name in the suggestions and the stuff you want me to do, and I can do that as well. So guys, thank you for watching and have a great day. Cheers.